Hello everyone, welcome back to Argsy Farms here on the Oaks Realistic Multiplayer server. Now I'm going to go through and catch you up a little bit on some progress from our last video. One of the farm helpers has been in and been incredibly busy. You can see already here that this field's been ploughed. Looks like it's been rock picked from at least the big rocks. There's a few little ones in there. And it's getting some lime spread on it, and I think, if we just listen really carefully and closely, here comes Dazed. He is getting the lime spread. He's already done the other field as well. So yeah, we're basically at the point where we're going to be able to sow our grass back into this field, as well as the other one. That's also been baled and everything like that. Well, looks like a bit of a challenging entry there into the field too. We'll have to be mindful of that. Probably won't affect any of our equipment, but that is it's a decent sized lime spreader there that Dazed is running. Pretty impressive piece of kit. So we'll leave him there to carry on doing that. But like I said, this field is now ready basically to get some grass put into it, some grass seeded back into it, and as is the other one. So we'll go and take a look at that too. So just standing out here, kind of on the edge, but not quite in the middle, not right at the entrance, but in this field, it has, like I said, it's all been mown, it's all been baled, so we've got all the grass off this, ploughed, and well, it's ready for planting. So I think our task today is we're going to go and get the little weeder. We're going to get some seed, get that topped up, and we will run down and get this one planted, get the other one planted. We'll see how we go. We're probably going to have to buy some more seed. We did use the one bag up in the canola. I'm not sure whether the grass will require more seed or not, but these fields are just a touch smaller than the one we put the canola into. So as you can see from our precision farming data, these field 34 with our canola in it. This is the field Dazed is putting the lime on at the moment, and that's actually come up as loam. So again, we've got a small amount of silty clay. We've actually done all right with that field being a well-performing one, and then this field down here is a mix of sandy loam and loam. So again, I'm hoping we're going to get some good performance out of these fields, just on the basis that they do have none of the silty loam, or silty clay, which is one of the poorer performing soil types. But as you can see from the area, probably actually combined, they're probably actually going to be very close to the size of field 34. In fact, we've got 1.7 hectares there, 2.7 there, so that's 4.4. And field 34 is 4.5, so we might actually manage to get through this with just the one bag of seed. There's only one way to find out, and that is to go and jump into the tractor, come on down here and get started on our seeding. Now, one other task that we do have at the moment, we've got a contract for one of the farms down the bottom. So Twin Creek Cattle Co., who have their farm down the bottom, like I said, they are wanting some grass mown and converted into hay and some into silage. Now, it's not actually a pressing issue. We could end up doing it in June just to allow the grass to have another growth cycle on it, but it is a task that we could get in and do at the moment. The other thing I've neglected to mention, I'm pretty sure that we've had the fertilizer applied to the canola already, so we're actually well on top of our tasks here on the farm this week. Compared to last week, we're not playing catch up right at the last minute. We've still got about 4 more days left in the month, that is real life days left in the month, so plenty of time to get everything done. But anyhow, I'm going to go and jump up to the yard. We'll go and jump into a tractor, and we'll get ourselves down to the fields and get some planting done. So just quickly as well, over here at the yard we do have one other change. We've sold the building that was here and we've replaced it with one of the storage sheds that auto stacks the bales. It gets rid of my messy stacking that we did have and has ended up with a nice neat pile there. If we just come over and have a look, we get close enough, bring our hut up. There you go, we've got 72 bales total, 40 have fermented, 42 have fermented, we've got 2 smaller ones, and there's 30 unfermented bales, so we must have got 30 bales off that second field, so that's another 150,000 litres. So we've got about 350,000 litres of silage, which is going to be good. I did come to the realisation though, of course, with FS22, cows won't eat silage as a base food, so we are actually going to have to get some hay done. So it might be a little bit longer before we get some cows here on the farm, and I do want to get them set up and going because it sounds like they're quite a good money maker, so we'll have to find out. Anyhow, that's enough of that. You'll see that Corpnut and Dazed are both on at the same time, so we'll jump in, we'll get the stuff sorted out, and we'll go and get started on the planting. Alright, there's the equipment all set up and ready to go. That's not a bad screenshot actually. We might get a photo of that and use that as our thumbnail. But I was trying to figure out the most efficient way to do this. We've only got the one bag of seed, so I'm not going to bother taking the trailer all the way down. We're just going to run it down there on the front grab. We've already topped up the seeder as well, so there's only about 700 litres in the bag, so it's not too heavy for us. I would have planted using the small tractor, but it doesn't have GPS, and I do want to use that, which is on the bigger tractor, so necessitates us taking them both down, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's what we've got to do with our equipment settings at the moment. We're just going to have to take them both down, and that'll be quicker than running the tractor back here all the time to top up, because as we know, we're probably going to go through a couple of loads of seed in each field. Well, hopefully no more than that, or are we going to be completely out? Anyhow, let's jump on in. We'll head on down to the fields and go start planting some grass. And for whatever reason, probably because it's a silly narrow little lane, I often miss this little entrance in here, but this is the narrow lane which takes us down to the grass field. One of the things I love about the Oaks is these big overhanging hedgerows and trees, and really makes it narrow. It actually forces you to drive in cab view, because when you're out like this, it's very difficult to actually see where you're going. So it is a very nice way things are set up. Now we're just going to get turned in here. Daze did a message and say he'd run out of lime again. He'd estimated how much it was taking, and he was having to put in enough lime to boost us up by one whole level. So just have a look over here. That's only 5.875, and to get it up to 6.7, it's pretty much taking one whole pH level to get up there. So a little bit up in the corner there he hasn't quite done yet. So by the time we've gone and got the tractor and come back down here, I'm sure he won't be too far away from being finished. And just like I hoped, there he is. He's pulling in just in front of us. So we'll let him get things finished. We'll go and park. In fact, if we just park in the neighbour's field entrance, I'm sure they won't mind it. Just park here out of the way, won't go on their crop. But if we leave that there, that'll be fine. It's out of the way. It should allow Daze to be able to get out of the field when he's finished. And we'll let him carry on and get that little bit of lime done. Be nice to see this done. So we might just throw the drone up in the air, capture him doing this for just a couple of seconds while we're waiting, and then we'll get into some planting. Right, well there we go, he is all done now, so that means we should be able to go and jump in here, make sure we set up to grass. A few little jagged bits on the field, I've noticed. I noticed that in the other field too, but nevertheless, I'm sure we can plow. It's been plowed, so I'm sure we can plant over it. As long as we can mow over it and everything like that too, then I'll be happy. So we might just, let's just start off. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over to the other side of the field. We'll start off over there. Probably rip off a couple of headlands as well, and then we'll run up and down the field and see how long it takes us to get it done. Shouldn't be too long. Interesting, more interesting to see whether we can do it all in one bag of or one load of seed or not. In fact, I better make sure I change that as I'm looking now. We've still got canola selected, so let's just go through, make sure we've got grass there like that. Now get ourselves positioned in here. We just need to back up a little. Get that unfolded. Nice unfold animation actually on this, the way the different sections all pop into place. Very nice. Right, get that done there, and I think we're just about in the right spot. Might just have to move over just a touch more to the left, be able to optimize our coverage and get all of the field covered. We'll back up as well, get right up into the corner, because we obviously want to have as much grass on this as we can. Right, that looks pretty good. Power that up, lower it down, and just while I'm at it, we're just going to minimize our track there for the proceed, because obviously we don't have to use that, and we're going to turn on our GPS and get that all set up as we run along here as well. Let's just have a look. Alright, we'll just go forward just a touch, make sure we're as far over as we can be. Probably go just a touch further actually, just looking at that. We might just back up, just do that little section again, go as close as we can. We want to make sure we get rid of all that lime and any dirt is well covered. That should just about do us there. So let's try and run along the edge of this field, get the GPS up and going, and we'll be good to go with getting this grass planted. Ourselves an A point there. I did see it pop out underneath us. Set another one again, and then we'll see how we're looking. We'll turn our lines on actually. Set our width as well. There we go. Right, that should, if we turn that on, be pretty good to go. Get that turned off, and well, it's not too bad, is it? I think that's just lime sitting in amongst the grass as days just spread across this edge. So probably nothing to worry about. Anyhow, that is us up and planting and getting some grass in. Used up 12% of the seed already, which does mean we're probably going to go through a fair amount of it as we get this field done. But it's not to worry. If we need to go and buy some more, we can go and buy some more. So I think we'll tackle this field a little bit differently than we did last time. I know we've obviously already done some seeding, but let's just use a little bit of a montage. We'll go through and get this one done, and then when we move to the next field, it might be a chance of doing a time lapse in that one. Then we'll see if there's anything else that we need to get done. But anyhow, sit back, relax, and I'll catch up with you in just a little bit. So only this very little bit of the field to do and we will be all done. Now I can tell you for certain, while it doesn't look very empty, I don't think there's much seed left in that bag. We've filled up twice, we've only got 50 litres left, which leads me to believe we've probably used something like 600 litres out of there, 550 litres, and there was only 700 or so when we started. So we'll jump in, we'll lower this down, we'll go and jump in the other tractor and see how much there is left. But we're certainly going to have to run up and grab another bag. I'm assuming probably the easiest way will just be to take the little tractor here, and then we can bring it back just using the front loader there, because this will be the last seed we need for some time. But let's just try and see for how much is there. 184 litres, a little bit more than I thought, but certainly not enough to get the other field done. There we go. Might just lower it down a little bit just to get it fair enough forward, and there we go. That is all finished. So we might leave the Massey there, we might run down and grab the other seed, and then we'll be back and go and start in the other field. So we'll catch you when we're over there, and we'll jump into a bit of a time lapse I think for that one. So let's get some hazards on, make sure we're following all the rules, and we'll get things back underway. We're just coming up on the field here on our right. I think it's in behind the hedge here. In fact, is it in that one? Might be the next one. Next one it is. Be able to see. In fact, I think I just caught a glimpse of our big bag in there on the front of the tractor. Here is the field entrance, and there's the tractor. So we'll just pull on in here, and this one's not going to take anywhere near as long, it's quite a bit smaller, but we'll just get everything unfolded. Turn our beacon light off. That unfolded, we've got the lid open on the seeder already, so we can get that backed in and hopefully get in underneath that bag far enough to get just a little bit more seed in. We'll just lower that down, be able to back in hopefully enough. It's hard to judge distance. There we go, perfect. Alright, that's that done. I'll lift that up, close that back down, and like I said, I think we'll just do a little bit of a time lapse in this, so I might jump out, watch it from this angle, and we're just going to crack straight into getting some more grass planted. So shouldn't take too long at all. Probably a good one actually to almost do a bit of a spiral type course on rather than going up and down, just because it's a bit of an irregular shape. Not sure how easy or hard it was to bale in here, but not bad getting the 30 bales we got off this. So promising for once we get some more grass in here, particularly grass that is going to have good pH, good nitrogen, and everything else to give it the best chance to grow really, really well. So anyhow, let's jump into it. We'll get into a time lapse and we'll see when we're finished. so close to getting it all done without having to fill up again, but we are down to our last 10 litres, which won't get us to the end. The shorter rows on the other side give you a false sense of security, but that's okay. We've still got enough seed in the bag that we can go and get a little bit more put in and come and finish this piece off. There's a couple of little bits that I missed on some of the tighter turns as well, so we'll have to make sure we go and get those done. One's right there in front of the tractor anyhow. I think there might be a couple of the edges on the field which I want to redo as well, just to make sure we did cover it across the full width. So we'll get this backed in again, get the lid open there on the little hopper, back in a bit squarer so we don't whack the front of the tractor, but there we go, get that filled up. And now we can go and get the grass finished, and that will be great to have all of this planted. I've done a little bit of mental arithmetic based on the current price for silage, and even if we sold those bales, we wouldn't be too bad off. So if we can get another, at least one mow off this, I mean we're only in May, I'm not sure how long it's going to take for this grass to be fully grown, but if we can get a cut off in maybe July, possibly August, and then maybe another one in October, we're going to be pretty happy, I think. Pretty happy financially, so we'll see how we go. We might take one as hay anyhow, just so we can start to build up some stocks and reserves for having some animals. But anyhow, there we are, this is all done. So with this field finished, we'll get things folded up, taken back over to the yard, clean them up, and make sure everything is all good, so when we come back to seeding next time, we'll be all good to go. Alright, well that's us back here at the yard with everything, so we're going to give it all a good clean off. We're obviously finished with the weeder for now. I was expecting actually to have some weeds in the canola, but as I think about it more, none have germinated, and I do wonder if that is as a result of using the subsoiler. I know that deeper tillage was meant to give less weeds. When you've ploughed a field, you do get less weeds out of it, so I'm not sure. We'll just have to keep an eye on that and see what comes through. It's starting to look a lot cleaner, so a little bit of dirt up there on the back of that. And then we've also got the other tractor here. Now, I've got one other task I am going to get done, which is to take Corp Nut's equipment back down to him. We've got the rock picker and the plough here still. And I'm going to be a little bit cunning. We're actually going to take the front weight off the big Massey. We'll mount the plough on the front and pull the rock picker back at the same time and try and get it all done in one trip rather than making two. Because as I said in the last episode, you spend a lot of time on the road here on this map. It is a big map, and when you're driving around in tractors, in particular the small tractor which isn't quite as fast, it does feel like you spend a lot of time just driving around, getting nowhere. So that is the plan. We'll go and do that once we've got all this put away. Like I said, it'd be unorthodox, but it works. We've got the plough on the front. It sticks out a very long way, so I'm going to have to be incredibly careful driving back down with that set up like that. But let's get it all cleaned off, make sure it is looking nice and tidy for when we drop it back down to Corp's farm, and leave it down there for him with, well, there won't be any presents for him, but we will have to get him to drop us an invoice and transfer some money back to him in return for that. Like I said, this is a bit of a wild and crazy setup, but we'll manage to get ourselves back down there safely, I'm sure. And we'll go and get this drop back off. Just have to hope we don't meet too much traffic on the way. There's the plough and the rock picker tucked away safely in the shed. It's a bit of a tight fit getting that rock picker in there. I don't know if that's where he keeps it, but that's where we've put it for him. So let's get on back up to the yard, and I think that'll just about do us for today. We'll be good neighbours and close Corp's gate for him. There we go. But like I said, I don't know if there's much more for us to do. We could put some fertiliser on those grass fields, but I think I'd rather wait and let them germinate and then apply the fertiliser to them once the seeds have had the chance to get up and out of the ground. I think that would probably be better for them. Otherwise, there's really not much else for us to do. We do have the contract work to do for sheep, but again, I think it's a win-win for both of us. If we wait another month and mow his grass in June, he'll get more yield off it, which will give him more bales, which will also give us more money. So we charge by the bale for our work, so I think that could be the better option. But I'm going to sign off for now, say thank you all very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. I'm not sure if this will be the end though. We'll see. It could be the end, it might not be the end. Depends if we come back and do anything else before the end of May. But if this is it, like I said, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll catch you in the next one.